So Sneak Peek, we are first and foremost, we're community-based. We are all for advancing and improving or rather fighting against the loneliness epidemic for Gen Z and Millennials. So
Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I'm your host, Verdel Jones, and we are about empowering your passion with purpose. So happy that you joined us. You know what? According to Psychology Today, new research shows that millennials and Gen Z exhibit loneliness and alienation more than any other generation. As a matter of fact, 30% of people between the ages of 23 and 38 say they are often or always feel lonely. Today, my guest, Julio Taku, he is the CFO of SneakPeekSessions, and he is part of a powerful movement to help millennials and Gen Zs feel connected. So welcome, Julio. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, I'm honored.
And I'm excited to talk about SneakPeekSessions because, you know, as I stated, millennials and Gen Z feel lonely. And I remember when we talked about Sneak Peek, that was one of the missions that you guys were all passionate about. So give us a little bit of a sense of what Sneak Peek is.
So Sneak Peek, we are first and foremost, we're community-based. We are all for advancing and improving or rather fighting against the loneliness epidemic for Gen Z and millennials. So the age range for attendees to our events is like early 20s, like about mid 30s, because we found that that's the demographic that are adults, we're out and about, we're either college age or college attendees, out of college, things of that nature. And we are working professionals, we're students, and we do not often have spaces that are either low cost or super inviting for us as far as like social engagement, because it's easy to go to a club, but it's expensive. And you might not find like-minded individuals there, and it might not also be a safe space. So with Sneak Peek, we have mental health at the core of it all, because with loneliness, that's something that negatively attributes or can negatively affect your mental health. So at the core of it all, we have mental health, and in order to fight against that, we build community. So like-minded individuals, similar backgrounds, and predominantly we serve the Black and brown population, because as far as a numerical minority, that's what we are, but there's nothing minor about us. And in terms of how things are shaped in terms of culture and the zeitgeist, we definitely are at the forefront of moving those things and pushing the needle. So we serve that community specifically at Sneak Peek, and it's been a beautiful journey. It's been very fun.
It sounds like it. So who are the individuals, the people behind Sneak Peek? Because I got to meet, the creators, I guess, some founders of it. So just tell us a little bit about the creators of SneakPeekSessions.
So SneakPeekSessions, first and foremost, was born as the brainchild of Sheba Jackson. She's the CEO. And Sybil Quarko, she's the COO, me being the CFO, the C-suite. And then we have DJ Potential. We have Richard. I don't want to give everybody's like full government name. They might not want me to. We have Richard. We have Osa. We have Uriah. We have Nia. We have Fatim. We have James. So the team has grown.
Oh wow!
But at its nascence, it was Sybil and Sheba, and they invited me out to an event. I believe it was last summer. Summer of 24. Time is clicked by, and I attended and I enjoyed it. The vibes were great. The core group that they had invited were, naturally, if you're starting anything, you invite your friends first, you test it out, you see what it's going to be like, and then you expand it from there. You ask a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. So they invited me to an event, and soon after the event, Sheba then invited me on as the director of grants and policy, because with the nonprofit, again, it's not a for-profit thing, so you're not looking to just make a whole lot of money. It's not gangbusters immediately. So she had me join on as the director of grants and policies. I've known her since college years.
Okay.
Because we're both alum of Stony Brook University. And from there, moving forward, she saw in me somebody who was trustworthy enough, and I've been deeply honored ever since. And I always think to myself, like, I'm really in the position to be in community, not just with her, but to be building something that she's very passionate about. So joined as Director of Grants and Policies. We've since adopted the C-suite, so CFO, COO, COO, CEO, and that's what we've been up to, and it's been a lovely journey. That was in the summer, and now we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary
already.
this coming June. Yeah.
Right. So give people a sense of what events you have, because you've had a lot of events, and so what type of events do you have, and what can people expect from those events? You mentioned a little bit about that, but be a little bit more specific about what events you actually have.
Okay, one of the events that we have coming up this weekend, that'll be on the 22nd, March 22nd, is an in-house women's retreat, because we are currently in Women's History Month. It's Women's History Month, let's never forget that. Regardless of what the political climate is, it is Women's History Month, and we honor them as such. So the in-house women's retreat, we're going to have bouquet frame making. The women are going to be making their own body butters. There's going to be yoga, and it's going to be a nice, intimate setting. We're also going to have a panel of Black female entrepreneurs to speak about what their lives are like as entrepreneurs, and it's going to be an opportunity to de-stress, relax. The 92% that showed up definitely need space for that to be done. So that's what we're creating for them this Saturday. And prior to this, we had a golf collaboration event. That was more so like a feel-good event, but it was networking left and right. I shared my LinkedIn with God knows how many people.
Okay.
And before that, we partnered with another Black female-owned nonprofit by the name of Well Clothed Incorporated. You have Lita, Maya, and Jenny, who are the top three who run the organization. And they do clothing donations. They take in clothing donations and resources for those who are houseless or just, so to speak, I was going to say housing impaired, but that's not even the language for it. But those who are lacking resources and needing, they collect clothes and such. So instead of taking money for tickets, we took clothing donations.
Okay.
So people brought lightly used or new clothes as their stand-in for them to gain access to the event, and that was great. We were able to get some local news coverage for that, and we were able to donate like pounds upon pounds of clothes. Prior to that, we had that event was called The Final Stitch, and then prior to that, we had a homecoming event where we did a basketball tournament in Brooklyn, because that's where the organization is based. Right. It's all in Brooklyn. So I make the trip from Long Island down to Brooklyn, but the organization is well worth the sacrifice and the time, and whether it's a train ticket or a toll, whatever, I'll pay it. I'll go over there. I love the team. And we had a local basketball tournament with teams that were sourced from the city, and they played, and it was all, and that's another really important thing. Not just that it's a nonprofit, yes, there's no money involved, but once we tell people about our mission, they're more than happy to do it, and they understand it's pro bono.
Right.
Like whether it's at a bar, the Seven that hosted us in Brooklyn, they know that we're going to bring them business, but they also believe in the mission. Sheba steps into the room, she's a ball of sunshine, and people immediately are attracted to her and they believe in what she's saying. Sybil shows up, she's the same, and they were willing to work with us, so it makes it a lot easier to then maneuver, because in the nonprofit space, it can be very difficult to try and book spaces and get engaged with people when they know they might not necessarily turn a profit, but they believe in our story and they believe in our mission, so they gladly partner with us. The
other thing you mentioned was the mental health piece.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know that you have done something with BetterHelp.
Yes, we partner with BetterHelp, and we have been for months now giving out free vouchers for 3 months of therapy. And each time we say like, hey, we need a few more, they just gladly give it to us. I can count on both hands how many people I know were able to take advantage of the therapy and are attending regularly. And beyond the 3 months, then you could choose to then like find out what it would cost as far as co-pays or whatever have you. You take on that responsibility of then financially shouldering the cost of therapy. But the fact that you have even those 3 months of respite and professional guidance, sometimes people just need that.
A little bit.
They don't need lifelong therapy. They just need to get through this little bit of time
You're not
right
supposed
here,
to be in
this
therapy
quarter.
for a lifetime.
Exactly. It's not necessarily supposed to be a lifetime, because
the therapist is not really doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. I mean, it's one thing if you just want to keep seeing them and that's your buddy
and
at this point.
Sometimes people do that.
Exactly. So it gets those 3 months sometimes can be transformative enough for people where they can then decide they want to continue on with therapy for however long,
Right.
or that was exactly what they needed,
needed.
for the time they were in it.
So you've been getting positive feedback.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. And because you've been able to partner with organizations as well to be able to get spaces, and you have a consistent constituent that comes to your events.
Absolutely. I'm surprised I forgot. We had a matchmaking event recently, the weekend of Valentine's Day. Now, people hear Valentine's Day, they immediately think romance, but it was platonically based. We used a software called Matchbox. So basically, everybody came in, they scanned a QR code, they then filled out this questionnaire that was used value-based questions, and it was catered to platonic connections rather than romantic, because we knew some people would be wary about it. Some of the people that came there were already in relationships, so they don't want to then find out they have a romantic connection with somebody else and nothing in common with their partner. We're not going to house that discovery. You might need the therapy. You might need the BetterHelp number after such a session, but we don't create those kinds of spaces. So people were they had a great time at the matchmaking event. We have a very high retention. We have frequent flyers, so to speak, who keep coming back to our events, and they interact with us on social media. They share our information and our posts without us having to ask or beg them to, because they've had a good time there. They've told their friends. People have come there solo off of referrals from other people. Like, imagine your friend has such a great time somewhere that you are convinced to show up by yourself, not even physically with them, not even with your friend. You just go there. So I think that speaks volumes about the kind of programs that we run and the kind of environment we create, because we're very mindful of who it is we bring into our spaces. We do not tolerate any kind of bigotry. We do not tolerate it, whether it comes to sexual orientation, religion, race, creed, weight, none of that. We already know that that's out there. We know it exists, but we're not going to offer a space where any of that can exist unchecked. If it's gonna happen by accident, by happenstance, whatever, but it's not going unchecked.
Not going to be tolerated.
I have a lack of tolerance for such behavior, so I don't let it fly if it's around me. And if I hear about it, I always follow up. So we're very big on that at Sneak Peek. We create a proper safe space. And not a safe space in the neoliberal sense. Like, we actually want to create community in places people want to be.
I love that. So how can people reach out to Sneak Peek Sessions, go to the events, and just find out more about it? You can let people know right in the
Absolutely. So you can follow us online on Instagram at SneakPeekSessions, SneakPeekSessions. Sneak Peek Sessions, all one word, on Instagram. And you can look us up online too, sneakpeeksessions.org. Follow us on all our socials. Reach out to us personally. We have all of it in our bios. Like our pages, share our content, and if you have any specific questions, like, DM us. We're pretty quick with a response. And spread the word, because community is so important. I cannot stress how important it is, especially now. 100%. Wink, wink, you know why. Please find community, if not with us, with somebody else near you. But if we can be the catalyst for you to then be brave enough to create a space for that where you are, because Brooklyn might be a push too far, you could use us as a template. We're not reinventing the wheel. There's nothing new under the sun. So if you think ours is a worthy cause, join it. If it's something that you would like to mimic and create for yourself at home, please, we'd be more than glad to help you out, because we're also growing in the process. In this June, we'll celebrate a year. So we're pretty new to this space, but the effect we've had, the people who now know about us, and the people who are willing to work with us, I think go to show the level and the quality of work that we do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Julio, for being here and sharing this information. You know, it is so important, as you said, for community. And that's all that I'm talking about. Community, community, community. Being community with one another is very critical in this day and age. So I want to thank Julio for being a guest on Conversations with Verdel Jones. Make sure that you follow Sneak Peek on all their social medias. And also, if you like what you saw here today, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, so you'll never miss an episode of Conversations with Verdel Jones. And remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.